The hosts of bracketology are experts in nothing. They claim no advanced knowledge or profound insights. Instead, they are just three judgmental idiots who really like to bloviate their own opinions whenever given the chance. Take what they have to say with a grain of salt, or not at all. You'll probably be better off that way.
Have y'all ever come up with an idea, like a really good idea to invent?
Nope. Oh.
But nobody believes in you?
I mean,
like a really good invention, but no one believes in it.
Yeah, like no one believes that you can make that thing.
yes.
Yeah?
And it absolutely could be made, but I don't have the brain power or know-how to do it.
What was your invention?
It was an app called
Grindr?
No, called Workout Partners. So basically, you wanted to start working out. You're new to an area. You know you need somebody's help in motivating you. It could help you find local single people to work out with. Like single workout. Like they might be in a relationship. I don't know. See, this is why nobody believes in me.
Yeah, no, I get that now. So I have two ideas, and both of them I came up with when I was like real young. I was a kid. The first, and this one is one that people don't believe in me for, and that is, I want to be able to hook up someone to a machine that records their dreams at night, and then you can watch those dreams back on like a TV.
That would be gnarly.
Wouldn't that be dope?
Could you do it on like your animals? Like for example, when my dog goes to sleep, she is the cutest. She twitches her little legs, she barks. Could you see what they're dreaming? That would be so great.
I mean, the concept in my mind that I have is 100%. You can hook it up to anything with a brain.
Mm-hmm.
It records their dreams, and then you watch that dream back whenever you want. It'd be like a dream VR. Looks like you want to say something, Scott, but you're muted, so we're just going to keep moving. My second invention, and I think this one is actually...
No, I'm going to say it. I kept trying to interject, and it wasn't working, and now I know why. Is anyone surprised by the fact that you presented this grandiose idea, and Dan was like, yeah, humans are cool, but what about animals?
Well, I get it.
Yeah, dude, we as a species, as human beings, do not deserve dogs. They are too good for us.
Just like your brain operates just right at golden retriever level.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Second invention,
and I really think I almost have to do this one first to fund the Dream VR, which is going to be you sell comas like they're vacations, right?
Wait.
Ooh. As a parent, I'm interested.
So you essentially you pay. You know, you do them in packages. I want a week. I want a 6 week. I want a 12 year, right? It can span. And you get put into a medically induced coma. And then you wake up whenever that ends. And it's like a vacation. It's like a really long vacation.
A week-long nap sounds so good.
So, Sharks, here's what I'm bringing. I'm asking for $500 million in... And you get 2%.
What kind of regulations do you think might stand in the way of this product?
Especially the latter of those two inventions.
Look, see, this is what I've been afraid of. Is again, people not believing in me. This is for the good of society.
The slightest bit of adversity, no one believes in me.
This is bullshit.
I mean, Dream VR sounds amazing. I'm 100% in. If anybody would like to sponsor us to help us pay for Dream VR, please.
I think Dream VR is definitely your better sale. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, hold on.
Come on, Meta. Hook us up.
Come at us. You got the gold, we got the idea, but we still need your scientists, though, to figure all that out.
We have a very loose idea.
We've got a loose idea. I have a name.
Like an idea of an idea.
I have a name, right? Because
just
DVR, Dream VR.
Pesky details getting in the way.
It's always the details.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bracketology, the podcast where we definitively, son of a, every time, definitively decide everything tournament bracket style. I am your co-host, Scott Grubb. I said that like it was a question.
I am your second co-host, Matt Robison.
And I am your third co-host, Dan Default.
This week, we are very excited to present to you. I don't know. Matt, what do we got going on this week?
All right. So this week, we are going to do something slightly different. So we just finished up our 80s comedy movies bracket, right? It was 6 episodes, 6 weeks long. That's a really long marathon to run, right? Can you imagine running for 6 weeks straight?
I can't imagine running for 6 minutes straight, bro.
My heart hurts. But we finished that. And now
my
it's
nipples
time.
Are chafing already.
I haven't even run. Hold on, I need some medical tape, some athletic tape. And now it's time for a palate cleanser, if you will. We are going to take a week and we're going to do a single miniature bracket. We're going to do 8 contested items. These are all a complete surprise to Dan and Scott. Essentially, they're going to kind of vote on them, and then I'll be the tiebreaker as needed, since I am the one that came up with the premise.
Yes, we don't know the theme. We don't know any of the entrants. We know
nothing
about this bracket.
Now, here's the thing. I've got the bracket up, and if you're watching us on video on YouTube, Bracketology, or Bracketology Podcast, or whatever it's called.
Love the plug.
Here for it. Then you can see this bracket, and you can see I've got 8 lines.
Nope.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, there are
8 lines, and I'm going to slowly reveal those lines to the guys here. All right, so they're going to be able to see the items. Here's what I'm going to say. I had 2 options to choose from this week. One of them slightly controversial. All right. The other one slightly less controversial, but I'm very passionate about.
Are you worried about the position he's trying to put us in right now?
I mean, I was told to bring a stack of $1 bills for the slow reveal, so I don't know what's about to happen.
Hey, you gonna get it. Welcome to the stage.
Coming to the stage. Pour some shit. Oh, anyway.
Kmart, Chris Evans.
Well played.
All right. So here's what I'm going to throw out to you guys. Okay. I decided the seating. I decided what they are.
Janice, I just feel like Chippendales has really gone down in.
Oh, yeah. Do you got it? You got any athletic tape by chance? Taking my shirt off really burned.
I did it too quick.
It hurts. Okay. I'm going to introduce the topic to y'all, and then I will show you the seeding and what that looks like. All right. So we're going to have number 1 seed versus number 8 seed, number 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. Cannot believe I got that in one take. But the topic today, creepiest cryptid.
Okay. All right.
So,
Cryptid.
Number 1, Jersey Devil. Number 4, because it's in that order.
4.
Mothman.
Ah,
Number 8, Bigfoot.
okay.
Number 5, Ozark Howler. Number 3, the Skinwalker. Number 6, the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
That's Scott's nickname in college.
Number 2,
I
Wendigo.
still don't know how. I don't know how the 7-Eleven parking lot got the nickname Honey Island.
It worked though.
You just got to stop dripping, bro.
I know where the swamp monster part came from, but I'm not clear on the Honey Island part.
And number 7, the Chupacabra. El Chupacabra. So we've got 8 cryptids. Let's start first. What's a cryptid? A cryptid is a thing or a monster or an animal that it hasn't been proven to exist, but does.
Okay. Some might say that they are things of lore. I do think we just need to present that position.
Sure. Those wrong people are fine.
Okay.
But I have now ranked these in what my eyes is the seeds for potentially creepiest.
Doesn't that already give away your votes then?
No. Shut up.
How dare you present facts and logic, you bastard?
So we're going to go through this. We're going to do this one matchup at a time. If you need information about any of these cryptids, I'm happy to provide them. It has come to my attention in the last couple of years that many people don't know what the Jersey Devil is, and it pisses me off.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. There's a few on this list that
Oh, you sons of bitches! All right,
I'm not
I will.
super familiar with.
Okay, when we get to the matchup, you tell me what kind of intro you need for it, and I'll be given. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right.
Are
So
we just starting at the top, work our way down?
start at the top. Jersey Devil versus Bigfoot. Which one's again creepiest?
Okay. I mean, I feel like you put these in order of your preference, which
Look, I have my favorites.
it's going to be similar to my viewpoint as well. I am going to have to say that to me, I don't find Bigfoot to be creepy.
Okay. Full-fledged
He's a
argument.
different-
All right.
He's a different. I feel like he's. I mean, sure, the concept is a little more. He has more. He's a different kind of terror to him, not creepy terror. Like, you know, he could probably crush me if he wanted to, but that's not the same as creepy terror.
I think it's an interesting matchup because aren't the New Jersey Devils named after the Jersey Devil?
Some may say
Yes.
it's the most famous cryptid because of that. Some being
So-
me in a conversation I had last week.
But hold on, like on that same note, there are, especially in the state that we live in, Colorado, all kinds of Bigfoot merchandise. So both of these, I think, out of all the cryptids on this list, are probably the two most commercialized.
Mm-hmm.
There are probably a ton of Jersey Devil fans who have no idea where the name came from.
Surprisingly, that's true.
But that doesn't necessarily, that doesn't take away from the fact that, it's still got a hockey team named after him. And I have vinyl little stickers on my Jeep of a Sam Squanch. That's what I call Bigfoot, by the way, for people that don't know how weird I am. Sam Squanch equals Bigfoot. That being said, I think I know which way I'm voting for creepiest because that is what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, before we get into the votes themselves, let's do a quick introduction for those that are uninitiated, potentially.
Sure.
The Jersey Devil, my number one seed, plainly because it's my favorite cryptid, not necessarily because it's the creepiest. It's my favorite. I'm now changing the way that I seeded these initially. The Jersey Devil is a South Jersey, essentially like goat man with bat wings that terrorizes the countryside. I believe the Pine Barrens is where he tends to spend a lot of his time. It's meant to be just one monster. There aren't a bunch of them, right? Whereas Bigfoot, if you don't know what Bigfoot is, I don't know what to tell you. Like
This might not be the episode.
Yeah, this might not be the podcast for you, to be honest. But the Bigfoot, generally large, elusive beast, hairy, likes to stay out of
And
sight.
the Hendersons.
Yeah, he does like the Hendersons. That's true. So, but generally doesn't really like to be, a part of the public. So, Scott, let's go with your vote first.
A creepier of the two is the Jersey Devil.
Okay. Dan?
I mean, I have to agree. If we were going cooler of the two, I'm going Sam Squanch, but that's not the category. It's creepier. The
It
creepier of the
is
two is Jersey Devil.
the creepiest of them. All right. Well, then let's move down to the Mothman versus the Ozark Howler.
All
So,
right,
have
I was
either
gonna
of
say,
you heard of these?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Would you like to give the uninitiated the background first this time?
Yeah. So, Mothman, the Mothman is a humanoid creature, generally kind of depicted in West Virginia, I believe, is where
Yep.
Yes.
kind of originates.
Right outside Huntington.
Essentially looks like a giant Mothman, right? Glowing red eyes, kind of. I think they've made movies about the Mothman
They did.
throughout. Like it's a pretty famous one as well.
It appears on a bridge at night, I believe. And doesn't it have some kind of like, it can tell you when you're gonna die or some kind of power like that?
Yeah, it has some type
So,
of like prophetic kind of, hence all prophecies and stuff, but it
yes,
has a
yeah,
prophetic way of not telling you, but essentially you like hear it or see it in a way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ozark
Ozark Howler.
Howler. The Ozark Howler is in the Ozarks.
Makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah. The Ozark Howler is generally kind of looked at as an odd kind of goat-like creature also known as a devil cat. Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, generally described as being bear-sized, thick body, generally has horns that are prominent. And the reason it is the Ozark Howler is because its cry can paralyze people with fear, essentially. Like its howl.
All right.
Okay.
Can I kick us off here?
Yeah.
Please do.
All right. So Mothman.
Onside kick. It's no, I'm just kidding.
Mothman, actually, it happened not too far from where I grew up. That should be a surprise to nobody. But there's a lot of different Mothman sightings, but the one I think we're most familiar with, it was in the 60s. There was a bridge called Silver Bridge that collapsed in West Virginia. And prior to that Silver Bridge collapsing, there were a bunch of Mothman sightings. And they say that it kind of prophesized that bridge collapse. There have been other examples, like there was in Moscow, some apartments that were bombed, that a bunch of people said that they saw the Mothman before that. So Mothman is definitely the one I'm more familiar with out of the two. That being said, the Ozark Howler is freaky as hell. Like, it's a bear with goat horns. I would not want to run into that thing out in the wild.
Let alone just hear it scream in the middle of the night in the forest or the what do they have in Arkansas? Plains? Scott, you got thoughts?
I feel like somewhere in those states you named, there's probably like a high school or maybe like a little league team whose mascots are the Ozark Howlers. Like, I could see that being embraced as a sporting mascot level of creepiness. Whereas Mothman, I don't think there's any Mountain State Mothmans or anything like that. Like,
There is
that,
statues.
yeah, but that prophecy of death thing, I think triggers me a little bit. And then like just the blank stare, because I mean, one of the depictions of Mothman is just like a blank staring figure in the shadows at night, just watching you.
Just bright
And
red eyes just poking
Yeah,
through the
bright
darkness.
red eyes.
And that to me is a creepier image. So that one's creepier to me. I think Mothman's creepier.
Okay. All right. Sounds like we got one vote. Mothman, do you?
What?
Dan, do you have a vote?
Yeah, I do have a vote, and it's going to Mothman. I agree with you, Scott. Like, if I ran into the Ozark Howler, there is a chance of my escape. If I'm seeing the Mothman, it's already over. I just don't know.
If you run into Ozark Howler, you're probably going to try and tame and pet it.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, give me those horns, baby boy.
I would not say
good
that.
misunderstood
Oh,
cryptid.
yeah.
Who's
That's-
a misunderstood cryptid?
That's more realistic.
All right, on to our third matchup of the day. Skinwalker versus the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
I would like to request the background information on this one because I have no idea what the fuck a Honey Island swamp monster is.
Okay.
I mean, like context clues help, sure,
Yeah.
but I imagine there's something specific about it to make it special.
So, a Skinwalker,
other than being in Honey Island.
Let's start with the Skinwalker. Skinwalker is a legend of lore from Native American tribes, where a person, someone of the tribe, is generally depicted as being, involved in witchcraft, devilry, kind of getting into the evil side of the spirit realm, and so they are cursed by their tribe essentially to be banished and become what is essentially a shapeshifter, who can take on the form of animals and other people and things along those lines. Absolutely, in my eyes, terrifying. 100%.
I do believe Sam and Dean fought some of them.
That's true. The Honey Island Swamp Monster is also known as the Cajun Sasquatch.
Yeah, Louisiana Sam Squanch.
It is the Now, the difference here is that it's not really a Sasquatch. It is more of a bog monster.
Does it look like the thing from Scooby-Doo, the green dude with like the hanging
dripping
kelp head? Yeah, he's in every intro since the 60s.
Yeah, I think that is kind of a depiction of the swamp monster.
Okay.
I was just going to put swamp monster, but I felt like I wanted to be inclusive towards our Cajun friends from Louisiana, and make sure that they were included. So the Honey Island swamp monster, it is different than Bigfoot because it is, I believe, if I remember my lore correctly, an ape-like humanoid creature that does attack people. I don't believe it's as reserved as a traditional Bigfoot. So what are your thoughts? You're both muted.
I'm trying to figure out where Honey Island is. Okay, I see. Okay. No, wait, that's not okay, that's an island. Okay, now I see the island aspect of it. So it's down there, right on the
bayou.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I really have a hard stance on either one of these.
I'm kind of with you. Like, I was familiar with both of them. But, and Matt, keep me honest here. Like, the Skinwalker can shapeshift, but is that the only power that they have? Or are they also, like, stupid strong and can fly?
I don't believe they have a lot of, like, supernatural physical abilities, but they do. Mm-hmm. They are, like, witches, essentially, right? So the idea of essentially taking on the form of an animal or someone else or what have you, and then kind of magicking themselves. I think they can rip us apart if that matters.
Okay.
I think I've come to a conclusion here. I don't know that I'm ever going to be anywhere near Honey Island, ever. Looking at its location and considering the obstacles that would face me in order to try to get there, I don't think I have to worry about its existence really at all. I feel like after we record this, at some point I'll go to bed and I'll wake up in the morning and I'll completely forget that it existed. Skinwalker, however, though, thinking in terms of what interacting with the Skinwalker would be like, if you had one of those pissed off at you and they wanted to torment you, you could never trust anyone ever again. You would never know if you were talking to your actual spouse, your true kid, the dog in the room with you, or if you were talking to the skinwalker who was going to fucking kill you or use the information that you gave them to torment you. You can never trust anyone ever again. That's creepy as fuck.
So I'm guessing that's your vote.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Yeah, I got to agree. I hadn't thought about the fact that they could shapeshift into animals, and dude, that's 100% how I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna see a cute Labrador while I'm hiking somewhere, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, let me pet you," and then it's gonna be like, "Ah!" and kill me. So yeah, Skinwalker, 100% how I'm gonna die.
So we so far are completely unanimous between the two of you on this bracket so far. So then
and you, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard your vote.
I don't have to vote
this one.
unless
That's
you
because
guys
we've been
tie.
unanimous the whole time.
Yeah,
That might be a Skinwalker.
yeah.
Not exactly the most intimidating choice of
all right.
But
don't talk shit about
effective.
my dog. All right, that gets us to our last first round matchup. Wendigo versus, or Wendigo, depending on how you pronounce it. I always pronounced it Wendigo versus El Chupacabra. Now, a little bit of background. The Wendigo, some may get somewhat confused with the Skinwalker in some cases, but essentially it is similar. It's stooped in American folklore, Native American folklore, specifically an evil spirit that takes on the form of monsters and animals and things like that, generally with antlers and a skull associated. And they just are mean. They kill you. Versus Chupacabra. Now, the Chupacabra, for those that are unaware, is a goat sucker. It sucks goats.
I'm gonna need you to elaborate.
Oh, sorry. It's a vampiric. I always think of it as like a rabbit-sized creature that sneaks into ranches and farms and people's tents and stuff like that, and sucks the blood of whatever it can. There are tons and tons of legends of cattle and animals being mutilated, but really when they get to it, all they find are just like fang marks draining the blood of that creature.
You said anything, so people and animals? I mean, we're mammals. We're
traditionally, traditionally
Targets
animals, but there have been legends of it attacking people.
The attacks against people are just legends, but everything else is
factual
because these are all real.
But if you think about it, the Chupacabra is not that big, right? It would be a large-sized dog.
Yeah, I always think of it as like a large rabbit. Like, I don't know why in my mind. It may just be Monty Python's fault.
I think it had teeth like this. I don't think they're as small as even the largest rabbit, but I don't think they're much bigger than like a dog.
Perhaps capybara sized.
No, capybaras are tiny and adorable.
That doesn't change the size.
Yeah, no.
But
those adjectives impact size.
Capybaras aren't that big either. I'm
okay.
saying they're bigger than.
So it sounds like you may have a vote already, both of you.
Yeah, I do. 100%. Between these two, yeah.
Wait, what did I say that indicated what my vote was?
I honestly don't remember. Dan, what's your vote?
I'm voting the Wendigo. 100%. Those things would be terrifying. I might survive a Chupacabra encounter. I'm not surviving a Wendigo encounter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a goat, so I don't think I have to worry about the Chupacabra. So yeah, Wendigo.
All right. Wendigo moves onwards.
We have been pretty in step with these, huh?
Yeah.
Hey.
So I'm curious to know, would you have agreed or disagreed with any of those?
I think the only one that would have been a potential different vote would have been the Honey Island Swamp Monster, because truly A
That
Bigfoot
was
on its own, not that scary. But like the fucking swamp guy, like
But an extra
dragging me.
dirty Bigfoot?
Yeah, dude, that's creepy. That's
um,
creepy. Now,
when Scott went by Honey Island swamp monster in college. That was terrifying.
sure. Now there are a couple of honorable
dude.
mentions I want to make. So first is that I went with North American cryptids. There are a ton of cryptids out in the world, fairies and Loch Ness monster, the biggest of the ones. But I went with North American. A couple of the other ones that I found that I did not put on here were the Louisiana, or is it Louisiana? The frogmen. There are man-sized frogs. The jackalope, which isn't creepy but is very fun to say.
Is the
Yeah,
jackalope the
the
thing that was in
jackalope.
America's Funniest Home Videos back in the day with Bob Saget?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
rabbit with horns.
Yeah.
Skunk ape.
That's a new one to me.
A skunk ape is interesting. It is a Sasquatch-like creature that smells real bad.
Sedan.
The the thunderbird, not really
The car?
creepy. Nope. The thunderbird. The flatwoods monster. Those are all potentials. If I missed any, let me know. But those are the big ones that I definitely found. Let's move into the second round of this matchup. We've got two: Jersey Devil versus Mothman. Let's start there.
Um, I think I have to play the geography card here as well. Unless WrestleMania 50's in MetLife, I don't see myself spending any time in New Jersey for anything.
Now, before we bag too much on New Jersey, I do have to say I sincerely enjoy New Jersey. Tremendous food, great people,
I mean,
pine barrens, and a devil.
I've never been. I don't have a frame of reference. I just don't know why I would ever go. Again, unless WrestleMania 50's there, I don't know why I would ever go. So I don't think I have to worry about the Jersey Devil too much. I'm not. I'm not in West. Excuse me. I'm not in West Virginia.
That was the most delicate excuse me.
I was trying to hold it in.
Excuse me.
The excuse me or the burp?
All of it. I was trying to both say excuse me and not acknowledge it at the same time, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not in West Virginia, but I grew up close enough. I don't think I'd ever drive across that bridge, but I might. There's a greater likelihood of me driving across that bridge than ever going to New Jersey. And
keep in mind, Mothman isn't just relegated to West Virginia. He has had several sightings.
Yeah, it really originated in West Virginia, but all along the East Coast.
Yep.
But it sounds like you have your vote, Scott.
The prophetic thing, too. I mean, that's a creepy way to have an interaction with anything, I feel like.
I think that's
Dan,
fair.
what do you think?
I mean, I'm going Mothman, too. Yeah,
All right.
It's the prophetic, like, you see it, you know you're boned. You just don't know when you're boned, but the bone is coming.
It's like The Ring, but without the 7-day shot clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot clock, I like that.
This is the first one where I absolutely... this is one that's tough for me, because the Jersey Devil to me is terrifying. But I think you guys kind of made the right choice here in the Mothman just being creepier overall. Let's move on to, I think this is the matchup of matchups here, the Wendigo versus the Skinwalker.
A lot of similarities between the two.
They are, I mean, to a point, right? Because the Skinwalker was essentially a cursed human, whereas the Wendigo is an evil spirit.
Yeah.
So one being a little bit more, rooted in evil, and the other being someone who made evil choices.
Yeah, a tertiary, evil adjacent.
Can they both shapeshift to the same level of quality?
No, I believe the Skinwalker shapeshifts more and better. The Wendigo, I think, more disguises itself than it does shapeshift, if I remember the lore properly. But the Wendigo can, and this is something that I do remember, the Wendigo can make the noises of like loved ones and things like that from the forest. So they can try to lure you in that way.
Yeah,
Now,
but Skinwalker shapeshifts, they get your loved one's voice as well.
yeah, I don't know any, so I can't confirm that or not. But I will
That's
say
how it worked on Supernatural.
I believe that skinwalkers, not I don't want to taint this one way or another. I believe skinwalkers, not only were they like
Taint.
people that did evil, but they were people that did like irreconcilable evil, like rape and murder and, stuff to kids. And they're the ones that get cursed and banished. And again, if I'm getting any of the lore wrong, let me know. I'm not claiming to be an expert, mainly that I know how to use Google.
So,
Also, Wendigo, isn't there a Wendigo psychosis that they assign people when they have like cannibalistic drivings? I
Oh
might be
yeah,
making.
no, you're not. The first thing on Google when I Google Wendigo psychosis is Wendigo psychosis, characterized by
it's
characterized by
just that.
psychiatric manifestations such as paranoia, anxiety, hallucination, and cannibalistic urges.
Yeah,
Often emerges as a result of a fusion of cultural narratives and psychological vulnerabilities.
yeah.
So do
That's
Wendigos, don't fuck with how I say it. Do Wendigos have a cannibalistic nature then?
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll eat you.
100%. That's like their whole goal. They just want to eat. They get in that
Hmm.
buffet, baby. Buffet is just people.
Okay, Game Master. What are the weaknesses of each?
I believe a Wendigo can only be. I don't fucking know. Hold on.
Sorry, making you do work. Which one are you looking up? I'll look
Uh,
up the other one.
I'm looking up Wendigo. So Wendigo weaknesses: decapitation and fire.
Skinwalker. Um,
What?
oh my god, I'm finding an actual
Oh,
Cora. Like,
all
hold
right.
on, let me look at Supernatural
The Britannica
weaknesses.
says, what defeats a Wendigo? A shaman may be the only person who can subdue and destroy a Wendigo, using either a silver, steel, or iron bullet or dagger. Some legends claim that the Wendigo's heart must be cut out and melted or burned in a fire before its spirit is truly vanquished.
For skinwalkers, they have physical weaknesses, mortality. They are mortal like any other human and can be killed in the same manner. Decapitation, heart extraction are both popular. Skinwalkers possess a
Popular.
weakness to silver. It'll burn their skin similar to a severe allergic reaction, but it will not kill them. It can be used to identify them.
Heart extraction is most popular?
I mean,
What
they're popular things to
does that
do
mean?
to skinwalkers. It is a popular method of ensuring their ultimate demise. It's on,
That's some fucking Dahmer shit right there. All right. Does any of that help you guys in determining Skinwalker versus Wendigo?
I mean, I know who I'm voting for.
Go for it.
All right. I mean, this is the toughest matchup I think we've had
Mm-hmm.
because both of these are super creepy. But I'm gonna have to go with a Wendigo, and the reason that I'm saying that is because a Skinwalker is essentially a human, right? So peak human capabilities, but also as fallible and destructible as a human. The Wendigo is an evil spirit. Um, I have no means of defeating that on my own. Um, I have a chance, not maybe not a good one, but a chance against the Skinwalker.
Yeah.
We have an impasse here. I think that with Wendigo, If you are running into that, then that, technically speaking, is basically the end of all your problems. You got that? Look, for real, you've got that one problem left ahead of you, and then you're done. That's it. If you run into a skinwalker, that is just the beginning of your problems. That skinwalker, again, can be anybody. They can pose as anyone. They could pose as a loved one. They could pose as a loved one and put you in a compromising position and then pose as somebody else while you're not incapacitated, or while you're incapacitated. Take photos, send them to your actual significant other, and that's just the beginning of your problems. Skinwalker can fuck up your life and you have to live through it. If you meet a Wendigo, your problems are over in a couple minutes. It's going to suck. It's going to suck for your friends and your family, but it's not going to be your problem anymore. I'm saying a skinwalker, and that's terrifying. That is scary, for sure. I'm not saying that death is not scary or whatever. But that is terrifying. That is not creepy. Skinwalker is creepy. And by definition of our bracket, that's what we're going for. I'm saying skinwalker.
I think that we just witnessed Scott's excuse if he ever gets caught in a compromising photograph. It was a skinwalker.
I think what we just witnessed is me saying on this podcast that the thought of losing my wife and family is more terrifying to me than death. That's what I just said.
Okay, so
nice save, Scott.
By that.
Nice save.
That takes us to our first tiebreaker of the episode.
I'm glad we have one.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit worried that I made this too simple. Skinwalker and Wendigo. Again, these are very, very similar kind of lore from the same from the same types of cultures, Native American, very old. It is, man, that is an interesting argument though, Scott, because I think initially my gut reaction is Wendigo is creepier because it's an evil spirit, because there's not much that can be done to it. But the difference of terrifying versus creepy, and if I see a Wendigo, if I'm face to face with a Wendigo, I'm just done at that point, versus the anxiety and the kind of terror that comes with what a skinwalker can do.
That long-term unsettled.
Yeah.
Again, never can trust anyone. That's going to fuck with you mentally for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Which will not necessarily be short.
But a Wendigo can mimic the sounds of loved ones to lure you into a trap.
Yeah, true.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to put myself in the mind of a Winchester.
Is Sam or Dean?
Dean.
Okay.
Don't be dumb. I'm not 8 feet tall.
Did you really have to ask that?
No,
which one he pictures himself as, Sam or Dean?
As soon as I asked, I knew the answer.
We, all three of us, think we're Deans.
No.
Yeah, Dan's a Sam, and you know it.
I'm Sam 100%.
There's no way you know enough words to be a Sam.
You didn't almost finish law school twice. All right.
There's no way.
Assholes.
In Supernatural, so one of my favorite shows of all time, Supernatural, they face both skinwalkers and Wendigos. Wendigo is pretty early on. That's season 1, episode 2. The skinwalker comes up in multiple episodes. The Wendigo is a one-time thing. They kind of don't deal with it. If I'm remembering the episode properly, they essentially just escape alive, and they call that good. Whereas the skinwalkers, they do track down and kill. But man, that terror, the daily life, I think I'm going to have to side with Scott here. I'm going to go skinwalker. I think that is just creepier. Again, you're going to die faster from a Wendigo. But even if you survive a skinwalker, what damage is that going to do to you psychologically?
I mean, you could say that for literally everything on this list, but
Yeah,
hey,
but I
I
didn't.
don't have any skin in the game.
But look, there's a difference between idiot. There's a difference between PTSD and PTSD plus paranoia.
Yeah.
Constant and justified
And
paranoia.
questioning every moment around you. Yeah, Skinwalker, I think, is the right way to go there. So that takes us to our
The Terrifying
last
2
round. The Terrifying 2. Mothman.
But again, just for science purpose, terrifying and creepy are not the same.
Yeah, they're not exactly the same thing. But for the purposes of this bracket, it helps because it's alliterative. Mothman versus Skinwalker. Go.
We missed an opportunity to say creepy quartet.
I'm going to just edit that back in.
I like how you just made the opportunity.
Eviscerating 8.
So we have the prophecy of death and the really creepy visual of the red glowing eyes coming from the darkness.
Yeah. That haunts, like, that is the most haunting thing. For those of you who have never flown into or out of Denver International Airport, there is a statue that the people that live in Colorado refer to as Blucifer.
Hold on. We don't refer to him as Blucifer. That's his name.
That's the real name of it.
That is the name he was given by his sculptor.
The reason that people in Colorado refer to it that way is because everyone refers to it that way.
Fair enough. Blucifer, who also killed its own creator.
That is correct.
Has glowing red eyes. And every time I drive to or away from that airport, I avoid that gaze like the plague. Those red eyes on the Mothman give me chills. Terrifying. Or creepy.
I do think it's the stronger creepy visual for sure. It is, as some might say, the thing of nightmares. But the idea of the Skinwalker, and again, the kind of what I've hung my hat on with that argument, the ways it could just jack up your life.
Is that creepy though? Or is that just scary? Yeah. I
kind of was already having that debate in my head while you were talking. I was stopped listening. I think I used that argument, right? That Skinwalker's creepier than Wendigo, and I laid out all the reasons why. I think in this scenario that argument does kind of get flipped. I think that if I'm thinking about the creepier of the two, I think Skinwalker leans more to the terrifying side, whereas Mothman, and that visual is so strong for me. I think that's what's really swaying me, is it leans the Mothman to a bit creepier of an aspect. And I mean, again, it's not necessarily imminent death. It's just, here's your death. And that, knowing that information is pretty creepy too, I think. I'm trying to determine if I think that's creepier than never being able to trust anyone ever again.
Now, while
they don't necessarily get the other person's memories, so you could have like a safe word method or something set up. But that doesn't work, no, because if they come in as an animal, they hear the safe word, then they can pretend to be. So that doesn't work.
Now, while you are thinking through your vote here, I do want to just take a moment to tell the listeners both of these motherfuckers are from Virginia, and they've gone very East Coast here.
I didn't really take into consideration where the Skinwalker was from. And in this debate, I'm not taking into effect where the Mothman is. I really just used geography in the previous
the
rounds.
Louisiana one?
Yeah, and the Jersey one. Pretty specific. Dan, are you definitive on this?
Yeah, I know what I'm voting for.
All right, go ahead.
So, all right. 100%. I'm probably going to go to bed after this recording, and I'm going to have to watch videos till I'm at the point of exhaustion and probably still keep a light on, because the visual of those red eyes peering through the darkness will guaranteed keep me up at night. So, A, thank you, Matt, for making my night's sleep really difficult tonight. And B, my vote is Mothman.
So you lie down in bed, and you roll over, and you go to put your arm around the woman that you saw go to bed, your fiance, and then instead a big overweight dude named Kevin rolls over and looks at you and says, "Hey, baby," because he was actually skinwalking, pretending to be Kristen this whole time.
Okay.
That's not creepier to you?
I mean, no.
Yeah, as I was saying it out loud, it kind of sounded more funny to me than creepy.
Well, I think it's because you went with Kevin. Kevin's not going to...
Yeah, Kevin doesn't incite fear. I apologize to our listeners named Kevin. I'm sure you're all terrifying in your own right.
But not in this way.
Kevin,
but not in this way.
Kevin
if you show up in Dan's bed, he will be terrified, but it's not an invitation.
Kevin enjoys a nice, strong IPA and his knit scarf. Yeah, I think it's Mothman. I think that visual is just too strong.
I think that's understandable. I mean, the Mothman has been around for a long time. Legends have been around. But that crowns our first or inaugural mini bracket champion. Creepiest Cryptid in North America. Congratulations to the Mothman. You did put a lot of hard work into this one. You worked out those eyes, made them pretty bright and red. Kudos to you. Stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, same.
Stay out of Gotham.
I would like to say that to every competitor on this list. Please don't ever come around me. Thank you.
I respect you. I respect your distance, and I would like you to stay over there.
I have a personal bubble of about 13 million miles.
I feel like you would totally love to actually meet Bigfoot.
I mean, as long as I had assurance that he wouldn't kill me and I could give him some beef jerky and us just chill. Yeah.
He just goes, "Snap to a Slim Jim." Throws a beef stick at his face. All right. Well, I think that was a good kind of surprise. Again, these guys had no idea what the fuck this was.
Well done.
Thank you,
Matt.
Thank you. We are going to get ready for our next bracket. Dan, do you want to wait? Scott, do you want to give a little bit of a preview on what our next bracket is?
I think Dan should.
Dan, you want to give a little bit of a preview on our next full bracket?
Yeah, next full bracket, we are going with the worst of, so it's our first worst of bracket, professional sports mascots. So if you have any suggestions, ideas, or comments about your favorite mascot that you would like to either not be on the list or on the list, send them to us. I don't know.
Words was hard.
Yeah,
If you have thoughts on what professional sports mascot is the worst, you can also just send those our way. Yeah. You don't have to do it the complicated way that Dan said. Anyway, as always, we want to thank you for struggling through this episode with listening to this episode. We always appreciate that support. Further support is through social media, interacting with us on there. Sharing the page, liking the page, commenting, all of that. Super helpful. So you can find us on all the socials at Bracketology, BRACKETALLOGY. You can also email us directly, bracketologypodcast@gmail.com. We also want to thank Aaron O'Donnell from Aaron O'Donnell Music on YouTube for the music track we use at the beginning and ending of every episode.
The only other thing I'll say is let us know if you like these mini brackets, just one episodes. Again, we're planning on doing them as kind of palate cleansers between the big ones, just because I know a 6-episode run or potentially longer can get a little, it can be a lot of listening to 3 assholes talking. So if you like these smaller ones, let us know, and we can definitely do some more of those.
Yes, all feedback is appreciated. with all that being said, again, thank you all for hanging around this week. We will see you next week when we begin Worst Pro Sports Mascots. Until then, I'm Scott.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Dan.
Bye-bye.